not about to celebrate Laker therapy. I'm really not going to do Laker therapy right now because, the Lakers were without Anthony Davis. So I really don't think that's appropriate. If AD was out there, probably a different game. So I don't think I'm going to do Laker therapy today. Psych! Let's start this over. Let's not complain about the game we won and all of that shit. So hold on one second. Let me wheel on come again. Hold on.
Lick.
As we proceed to give you what you need.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's go to the box score real quick and let's look at the box score. And what do I always say about these games? I always say whenever the Lakers don't have a massive free throw advantage, they don't win. Right? So you know what the free throw differential was tonight? It was a +3. If we keep
Mm,
it under +10, they don't win. So
mm.
tonight it was I don't know, a 7-point game, +3. So usually they get
You do
marched
the
to the
math,
line
yeah.
and all of that stuff. Call the game like they called it tonight, and we beat them in 5 easily. Easily. Easily we
So,
beat them in 5.
Irk, so you know
Yes, sir.
how, and I know you've seen this. You know how their free throw differential between in the last 2 seasons between them and the Knicks, right? They're first in the NBA in the last 2 years. The Knicks are at second. The gap between the Lakers at first to the Knicks at second is larger than the gap between the Knicks at two and the team at 28th.
Oh, it's
Think about
outrageous.
that.
It's
Think
it's
about that.
it's
Nothing shady
So
about that at all.
so I haven't done this, and
Yo,
I
yo,
and I encourage somebody to do this exercise. Maybe I'll do it myself. I want to
you
know
guys,
in
somebody,
that 2 year stretch, what is their win record when their differential is less than 10 in a game? As you just said, Eric.
we should do that analysis, but
Let's do that. Let's do that because we can run
we should
those
do that
numbers, and
analysis. But
it's a
here's what I'm
simple
saying.
spreadsheet. We'll do it. We'll do it this weekend.
Here's what I am saying though. Steph had 31. Kaminga had 23. He was amazing tonight. Wiggins, 16.6 rebounds. He had a pretty good game tonight. Trace, absolutely amazing tonight. 4 assists, 10 points, 21 minutes. Clay Thompson, 26 points, 3 assists.
When Steph and Clay both are on, this team cannot be beat.
Hey, yo, Urkel.
Yo,
Did
um,
anybody tell my bet? I said 20 bets. Yeah, that was a good one, Lex,
that
I said
was a
bro.
hell of a
Reverse
bet,
yo,
line
bro.
yo,
movement. I said 20
you
bets.
think,
I said the Lakers are in trouble. They're in trouble.
you got,
Get
wait,
fucked
hold on.
last.
Wait, hold on. You guys think somebody in the arena is getting fired tonight?
Bro, like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, somebody needs to be
Yeah,
fired.
that
That
shit
was
That
was
was like
Like
embarrassing.
Jeannie, no,
ten
Jeannie,
real
Jeannie,
minutes.
like Jeannie Buss cannot be happy what she
All
saw
right,
from
all
her
right, all
own
right. Hold
building
up.
tonight. That is
So
unacceptable.
when Jackson Hayes smacks the ball out of Wiggins' hands, right? How the hell is that simultaneous?
No,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
I'm
that
crazy.
was egregious. It's
that was
What?
egregious.
never officiated that way.
Hey, why is it every time we play the Lakers, bro? It's always weird stuff, bro. Like,
That's what I said, Erg. It's always something. It's always never before seen stuff. Like this is the first time this has ever happened. Like it's
I don't know
oh
always
my
what
like that.
that was.
God.
I don't know what that
Also,
was.
that play with Draymond getting that travel or whatever, or that out of bounds play, Reeves ran into him.
Yeah, like where
How?
was the foul call? Where was the
Yeah,
foul
like what
call?
the
How is
fuck,
that not
bro?
a foul?
Like LeBron was getting and ones off of that same exact
Literally,
amount of contact all
Reeves
night.
smacked into him,
Well,
bro.
here's the problem. This is why the challenge system is so flawed, right? Because of the fact that there wasn't a foul call. There wasn't a foul call, right? You can't challenge that. But for some reason, in the previous play, you can challenge something else and be like completely different. That's why the challenge system makes no damn sense whatsoever. And it confuses everybody, not just the players. It confuses the fans and everybody.
Hey,
That shit fucked up the whole game.
yeah, like it AD got out of the game or whatever. Sure, but
Like the dude's eye was swollen shut,
yeah,
man.
nobody says shit to us
Hey,
when
you want to
Damn.
know?
multiple
You guys
guys
want to
are out
know
or
how
anything
long
like
the
that.
final?
So
You guys want to know how long the final 2 minutes of that game took? It took exactly 23 minutes and 27
yeah,
seconds.
that's
That's
ridiculous,
Shit,
man.
I
crazy.
thought it was
That's
30.
another quarter and some.
Yo,
That's
that play when we finally resumed, when they got the shot clock situation taken care of, yo, all credit, all hats go off to Steph Curry locking down LeBron right there when it was
Yeah.
124 to 117. That was amazing
He was on.
defense.
LeBron was also kind of fed up with the game at
Yeah,
that point. He kind of rage quit it.
yo, I got to give credit to Steph Curry for that defense though. That was
you
amazing.
saw how he took his
No, of course,
he
of course.
swiped
But
him,
it's
bro.
kind of like how he got so frustrated. He was just done. Like LeBron was just done with the
All
game.
right, hey, did you mean to say that Steph took LeBron's cookies? Did you say cookies?
Yeah, I got to be
Bro,
honest. I
Wait,
got to be
Did
honest,
you say
Space.
cookies.
cookies?
He locked him up, bro. He straight up locked him up with his
Cookies.
he took his
Did
Is
you
cookies.
that
say
that
cookies?
thing? Does that
Did
thing
you
that you
say
have to
Steph took his
accept
cookies?
in order to see the Lakers?
I don't see him. I don't see him.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I don't see him. I don't see him.
I won't lie, we had a great
Don't
game
see him.
tonight,
Don't see
man.
him.
All the
Oh,
people who
that's
we
amazing
expected
stuff.
to play well played well. We finally had like a good Steph and Clay game. We were not having any of those. Wiggins played, he played well. I'm just glad that we had a good game.
No
To be
crying
honest, we
tonight,
needed this
Glorious.
too.
We up. No crying
Finally
tonight,
won
baby.
in
We
this
up.
building.
No crying tonight. It's
That
all
was
smiles
amazing,
Remember,
bro.
We
tonight.
remember
got
how
16
crazy
to
they
go,
was
man. We
talking?
can't play around. No playing around. We got 16.
Yeah, bro. No fucking around.
Yeah,
So
it's one. We're
Also,
1-0.
what
Um,
happened? Why
we have
can
hold
Steve
on,
16
hold
more
on,
Kerr
to
hold
go.
on,
coach?
hold on,
Oh,
hold on,
sorry, my
hold on.
bad, my bad.
1 second, Glorious. Tonight, uh, I think that's going to be the playoff rotation tonight. There was a 9-man rotation out there. Did y'all notice
How
that?
did you feel about that?
That was fucking amazing. That's great. A game can matter, right? So a 9-man rotation tonight. So this is what it's going to be. So who is out exactly? Is there somebody that's out with an injury or
They were
anything?
saying that even though this was a
Nah,
good
not
lineup,
on the Warriors side.
people were kind of petitioning to get more GP2 and Moody in there instead of Pods.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, GP2
Moody,
was
yeah,
doing some
Moody and
whack
Looney
shit.
were
Not gonna lie.
DNPs, like the only DNPs that matter in terms of
Yeah.
your lineup, in
Pods'
terms of how
minutes
deep
should have
you'll go.
been cut a little bit for at least a
Yeah,
few minutes of Moody, the same way that GP
Wasn't he like a
two.
plus 14 or plus 16 this game though?
Well, yeah, and like I've been trying to
Pods?
tell people, like Pods does a lot. Like he doesn't have to score to impact the game. People don't listen to whatever. Moody still should get some of his minutes, the same way that GP2 kind of cuts into, some of the Chris Paul minutes here and there, some of the Pods minutes here and there. I even feel like some of the Kaminga minutes he kind of gets here and there.
Yeah, but
yeah, I
Tech,
agree.
Tech,
Um,
this is the minutes thing. When you talk about, especially in terms of staggering and in pairing him with other guards, where we need to cut this shit going into the postseason, and I don't know if we're gonna cut it. He can't be out there with Chris Paul.
I
He
agree.
Oh, I
cannot be
agree
out there with Chris
100%.
Paul. If
I
you're
agree
gonna,
100%.
and then especially if the third guard well, your wing is a third guard in Klay Thompson, because they do that. They go CP Pods and Clay. They did it today. If you're gonna do that, bro, no. That has to be Moody in there. That CP Pods thing needs to be deaded.
That's how
It's
they
ball.
came.
Agreed
That's how they
It's
100%.
came
too
back
much,
too.
because here's the thing. It's two reasons. One, it's too much ball pounding on offense, and you don't have two-way front court bigs that can space. If you're gonna have that much ball pounding out there, and you're gonna have these guys, be setting all these weird off-ball actions and these split actions that are coming from your three and off of pods, then you're gonna have to need your fours and your fives capitalizing from corner threes, be able to run pick and pop. Dario's already out of the rotation. He's canned. He's not out there, so nobody out there can pick and pop. None of your bigs can really space. So especially if you don't have bigs that can space, there's no reason why you're going CP and Pods out there.
I'll be
Especially with no
back.
POA, that needs to go, man. That needs to
I,
go
I
going into the
agree. I
postseason.
agree 100%.
And you saw what they were doing for the defensive side when we were small size like that. Everybody was over helping on LeBron and Rui Hachimura and all these guys with length. That was killing us on the defensive end.
On on the flip side, though, can we talk about that one lineup that was it was Steph, Clay, Draymond, Trace, and Kaminga? Can we talk about how that that lineup was going crazy?
I love the looks with Trace. I love how they kept going to
Yeah, it
Trace. I
was
love that.
nice. It was nice. The thing that I just like is that we had balanced scoring, coming from a lot of different places. Even Draymond had 12 boards. I think he had 13 assists, and 6 points. But yeah, it was just all around good effort on offense for sure. The defense in the first half was definitely it was shaky. It was shaky, but they kind of settled in and locked in. But I feel good about it. 2 games behind the Mavs.
This was we needed this win, man. Obviously by any means necessary. And we got it done. I think Steph, man, this motherfucker, bro. And this is what I'm talking about. I don't like it. I know AD was out the game or whatever, but you got to attack the rim. And I love what he did there, especially in a lot of the second half. Like, he didn't settle, right? His shot wasn't falling in the third. And what did he do? He just got to the basket and he dominated at the rim. So there was that. You also got to look at Draymond Green, right? And a lot of people, may not be the biggest fans, but what you can't deny is the dude adds to winning, and we need him to win a championship. And tonight, that was just further amplified from defensive.
He had 13 assists tonight.
Woo!
13 assists
That
Woo!
was
and
amazing.
2
And
turnovers.
Eric, I want to be honest with you. I know we call him a Steph merchant, and he is to a great extent, but he was making some nice passes, man. Like, there were some passes,
Yeah. There was one where
the back cut, right? Where,
Steph,
yeah.
yeah, like where Steph was coming off of.
He caught
It looked
Reeves.
like they were about to run a split action, and it's almost like they countered it, and Steph just went to the rim, and he just made a
Hey,
dime, bro.
Urkel.
Like, it was an absolute dime.
Urkel, I made a tweet about that.
The under
I mean,
one, yeah.
I was like, yo,
Yeah,
I was like, man, Draymond can fucking pass, dude.
Yo, I don't know
yeah.
how many
So
times Reeves and
That shit was
D'Lo
crazy.
kept falling asleep on Steph Curry like that. They kept falling
so
asleep on
what?
him.
So what I liked is how Steve Kerr. So in the past, what he would do, he would just go with the Draymond Looney thing, right? And it would just be like a robot thing, right? He mixed up the matchup tonight with Draymond and Kuminga, Draymond and Trace, Draymond and Kuminga, right? So this is what I want them to do. Like, depending on whatever the look is, right? So if the Lakers go out there with just bring Trace in, right? Um, but in the playoffs, let me say this, right? Don't fuck around and have one of the wings on the bench at at the same time. You can't have the two wings on the bench at the same time. One of them has to be on the court at all times. Kaminga or Wiggins has to be on the court at all times.
No more 4 guard lineup.
Yeah,
And
bro.
if you
Like,
have to,
that's
then
how about with
Moody
that
gets
bullshit, bro.
minutes.
I
Right?
told
So,
niggas this was gonna happen. I told niggas.
so Moody didn't play tonight, right?
Nope.
No,
Okay.
they basically ran an 8-man rotation outside of GP2 getting some
Yeah,
isolated minutes.
GP2 was the only one.
They could even. It is what it is. I would love to see them squeeze Moody in there,
Do
but
you
Yeah, in the
think Space
same
back?
fashion as GP. Yeah.
I was
yeah.
just about to say back to what we said about maybe cutting some of Pod's minutes.
I think Potts played fine. I mean, like,
Nah, they need to cut his minutes, bro.
Nah,
Bro,
for real, they
like,
really do though.
see,
They
if
really
there's
do.
one complaint to be made, and again, I just think that is the most critical mistake that you can make, and it's to close the game. And Steve decided to bring in Clay at the about the 4-something minute mark, and he benched Kuminga, right? And now you have Steph Curry, Potts, and Clay line up to close the game in the final 4 minutes. What are you doing, Steve?
That made no sense.
Especially when you need
Never go
defense,
with
not
a
offense,
3-guard
because we're
lineup.
up.
You have options, bro. You can either go with Kuminga or you can go with Trace. And you can just go with bigger and more reliable defensive lineups. And then he changed it. And then he took Potts out and brought Kuminga back in. Whether it's Kuminga, whether it's Trace. Bro, you cannot close the game with a 3-guard lineup. And you're just giving Potts too many minutes. He doesn't need 34 minutes. You got to
It
manage
was Wiggins. It was Wiggins that he brought back
Yeah,
in.
it
I
was
know this
Wiggins.
might be
You
crazy for
gotta
me to
you gotta
say,
manage these minutes
but I've
better. You gotta
come.
realize
I
that
want to give
part
credit
of the
to
reason why Wiggins is not getting the minutes that he should be getting is because Potts is eating into his minutes. You see that.
Jim.
So
I agree. Pods played. How many minutes did he play tonight?
34.
35.
He needs to. That needs to be.
35.
That needs to be cut down by 10. Let me say this. I'm giving a lot of credit to Klay Thompson tonight. In the first half, he was amazing. I'm giving a lot of credit to Wiggins, even though he was, missing some shots or whatever. His defense, we needed it. We needed his defense, and his rebounding was very solid. And GP2 as well. He was a game changer. I know he blew a layup or whatever in the third,
That
but
block on Reeves.
yeah, the block on Reeves
That
was
That
was
was
crazy.
incredible.
he was
Incredible.
amazing. GP2, Wiggins, Clay are the unsung heroes. And you know what? I'm going to give another name that we're not, nobody's going to bring these guys up. Chris Paul.
Yes.
Man.
Paul.
Them
And that's
key middies
huge.
kept us in the game.
Jordan.
Kept us
And
up.
Okay.
I don't want to put
Dre.
Jordan over. Yeah.
Hold that point for a second. Because I was going to talk about this. You see when you're in a playoff series and you have Chris Paul on that second
You
unit
said
and
it,
you
Erk.
need
You said
a
it.
bucket and you need a bucket in the pinch on that second unit, Chris Paul.
That's the option.
Chris Paul.
Just make
Because
sure
when he
Trace
was
is out there, bro.
when he was making those mid-rangers
All I could
and
think was Jordan, bro.
bro,
And it's
when
automatic.
he
Like
was
it's
making those mid-rangers, right? So this is another reason why Trace is just going to play a big role come playoff time, because Trace and Chris Paul pick and roll, it keeps the defense so off balance. Because if you look at the defense, they are thinking about whether they should commit to Chris Paul or commit to Chase or Trace. So you know what they're doing? They are conceding the mid-range jumper. And there is no better player in terms of running that pick and roll into a mid-range jumper than Chris Paul, bro. So as old as he is, bro, like the older you get, the smarter
Just
you
get him
get. You know what I'm
healthy, man.
saying?
Just get him to the
100%.
playoffs healthy, bro. Get him to the playoffs.
100%.
Listen,
That
right?
big has to tag the TJD role so early that it usually allows for him to operate in that snake dribble and sometimes even make extra reads out of it. Sometimes they're running an off-ball
Yeah.
action, even on the baseline, and someone has to come down to help, and it sets up a corner three. That shit is only possible with having a rim threat that's getting
Wait.
that much respect out of the ball screen, which Trace is at
Exactly,
the
man.
moment. And CP3's been running that shit since he was in Huggies. So that's he can do that shit when he's 50 years old, all day.
That defense has no answer for it, because you saw, just like with the Spurs game, when we beat the Spurs, Chris Paul and Trace did the same exact thing. So the defense has no answer for that if we continue that.
It's a pick.
it's a
Pick your
league-wide
poison.
thing. Yeah, it's because they're either going out and they're worried about the three or they're worried about the dunk. It's a league.
Yeah,
It's
like you
because of the
don't know
way the
which
league
one's
has
gonna happen.
shifted.
It's a pick your poison play, and they're gonna choose the mid range over the lob threat most of the time. Good defenses, and Chris Paul has to be able to take advantage of that. And because he has that space with Trace rolling, because he has that space, he gets that mid range off. He can't do that without Trace in there. So Trace unlocks Chris Paul's ability to do this. This is vital, man.
All jokes
I agree.
aside, you know what no one has an answer for? Kaminga's haircut. And I told the niggas this months ago about an African household and a haircut. And niggas thought I was joking. And he's been going crazy, averaging 20 ever since. This was
Hey,
shortly before.
I'll say this
The
about
funny part
Kuminga.
about that, he's dead ass.
I'll say this about
But here's the
Kuminga
thing
real
about
quick,
that.
though. Real quick. I'll say this
Go
about
ahead.
Kuminga. Dre, I know you've kind of been preaching about this, about the age and like just the lack of wisdom sometimes. We see it. It's very glaring. And as great as Kuminga did do, just like with the Bulls game with DeRozan with these and ones, it was a lot of fouls at the end with LeBron getting these and ones. That was the only thing
Listen,
that was
listen, listen,
Nah,
listen.
bro.
Hold on,
That
hold
was
on, hold on,
not
hold
Bro,
on,
LeBron
hold
is
on, hold on,
not
hold
the
on.
matchup for you
They
to
were
do
bailing out
this.
LeBron, bro.
Yeah,
Like
that was
they were
soft.
absolutely bailing out LeBron because I've been noticing this shit. So 2018, I went to game one. And LeBron does this thing where he punishes the defender with that off arm more than anyone that I've ever seen in history. Like tonight, we saw like a Clay drive. LeBron was damn near punching him in the gut the entire time. How are you to guard him if he's allowed to use that off arm on you
oh,
constantly?
like it's like a push off.
Bro, he's
No, he
punching
Yeah,
you,
showed
I see
then
what
he's
you mean. I
pushing
see
you
what you
off.
mean.
Like,
he
how is
showed
that
it.
Yeah, he was
allowed,
like
bro?
he's
Next
dragging
thing you
Clay
know,
to the rim. Yeah,
yeah, bro.
he's been
Like,
doing that for
next
years.
thing you know, they're calling a foul.
And he's jumping
Like
into the
what?
body of defenders too, which is something that they literally just released a report from the NBA official account saying that they're trying not to call that as much when the the
Yeah, because they said it was
offensive
like these are
players
the
initiative.
fewest free throws.
Yeah, and LeBron got to do it all night, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
It was
that's
like,
true.
are
That's
y'all
true.
enforcing it or not?
That's true. That's true.
My
Bro,
guy
Hey,
Colgate,
well,
whatever the
you
fuck
know
his
what? Maybe
name is.
I'm wrong then. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I
I
saw a
seen
lot of and
Wiggins
one
have
plays. You know.
I seen Wiggins block LeBron, right? And and then he blocked him again, and then they called a foul. Like what? Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
That was
LeBron,
killing us,
LeBron,
bro.
So
LeBron
wait,
is
I'm gonna
not the
say
right
this.
guy
LeBron's
to
dead
call
ass
that.
I'm
punching
gonna
Wiggins
say
in
this, right?
the
So
chest.
Alexander made a good point.
yeah,
I'll say it's both. I do think there were possessions J.K. was just out of position, and he was just like, if just don't foul, just get out of the way and let Braun get the layup. And you're right, the touch fouls were ridiculous, but don't put the refs in a position to even call those. Just get out of the way because it was enough to call it, and it was like, just if you just get out the play, if he beats you, he beats you. Give him the two. But the problem lies when you're out of position and then you're trying to make a play and it just doesn't work. So hopefully he learns from tonight and he just like if someone beats you off the dribble, you give him the two.
Yes, yes.
Without fouling. And I get it. Like Braun got some touch calls, and I'm not going to deny that either because that's true. But you know what? You just got to play. There's got to be some gamesmanship. You don't just play the player. You play the refs in a way. So you just don't give them a reason to call it. Don't give them a reason. You
Yeah,
know.
they
They
gave him a
don't, bro.
couple
They don't need a
nasty
reason, bro.
continuations tonight. That
No,
was
no, no.
couple. It was a couple
I hear what
nasty
you're saying, but
continuations.
they can't call a foul if Kaminga is just like out the play completely. They're not going to call that. Like, remember? Okay, how about this? How about the one on Reeves?
Yep,
I
it
was
was
That
an
was
excited.
and
that
one
that
too,
wasn't that
wasn't it?
wasn't that was before
That was
the
no.
gather also.
That was a foul, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it
He
was a foul, but it was before the
It was
gather.
a
That's what
foul,
I'm
but it
saying.
wasn't continuation.
Yeah, exactly.
You might
This
be
is
right.
why
You
the
might
Warriors need to
be
get
right.
out of the fucking play-in situation because
Yeah, exactly.
the refs will fucking screw the Warriors. And if it's a single game situation, like you don't, the Warriors don't want to be in that situation. You saw that fourth quarter, Austin Reeves got the continuation. Like, come
Yeah,
on, bro,
that was insane.
Wiggins, Jackson Hayes clearly taps the ball out of Wiggins' hands, and they call that a jump ball. Are you serious, bro? And then in real time, they don't call the LeBron James out of bounds play either, right? So this is just, bro. They're doing a lot of shit. And then Steph Curry drives to the lane, clearly gets fouled, no call is made. Like,
That's a
bro,
fact.
this
check
like
the
the
jumbotron.
Warriors have to get out of this fucking
Yo, Jim.
situation. This was so important that they won this game. I'm just glad that they took this one, bro.
Can we talk about Steph Clamp
Yeah,
Bryant on
Urkel,
clutch
you were
though?
saying? Urkel, you were
Check the
saying?
jumbotron. I just put the play in the jumbotron. Like this shit always happens, man.
Yeah, can we talk about Steph, the one that gets targeted or hunted, Clamp
Oh
LeBron?
my god.
Yeah, Steph should
Oh
have
yeah,
got some
yeah, yeah.
calls.
No, bro, that's been happening for
Oh
years. You know
yeah,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
So anytime he clamps LeBron and Bron is taking some bad shot over Steph because he can't get by him, you know what I'm saying? Nobody ever brings that shit up. You know what I mean? They never bring that shit up. It's always quiet. Stripped him
And
tonight.
that was just one. It wasn't even a double team. That was just one on one. That was one on one.
No double team, no help, no nothing. Swiped him.
I got
Amazing.
to give credit. Got to give credit where it's due. Got to give credit.
Well, it's great to see Draymond back in action and you know, just looking good, you know, for the most part. And he's vital. And that back issue, I like what happened tonight, which is like, you know, a combination of him and Trace out there, but also them playing together at times so that Draymond can move over to the 4. He just cannot be playing at the 5 full time. All of his minutes just cannot be at the 5. He needs help. And Steve did a good job of, you know, mixing that up tonight. And I think it was the second and the fourth quarters where Trace and Draymond started those quarters together. And this is really important. Steve just needs to put a POA on top of that. He just can't keep going. This is the one thing that he needs to fix up when they run these lineups. They need a POA next to those two guys, and then it's done. And so this is
Steve
where
was
I
using
talk about the
Paz as a
Pods issue,
POA.
right? This is not a Pods issue. This is a Steve Kerr issue. He needs to correct that situation. And man, Draymond, there's nobody who plays the Curry trap better than Draymond. There's nobody that plays it better than him.
Bro,
Hey,
bro,
Jim,
bro.
specifically, Jim, what specifically this game did you see out of Paz though that because I didn't see the bad individual one-on-one defense. I think he gave a lot of the stuff that, especially whenever we lose with Looney on the bench, a lot of the second chance, a lot of the second chance opportunities on offense. I
Oh,
think that's
there's
one of the
a
reasons why he was
possession
the
where he's
best
trying to
6.
guard D'Lo one-on-one, and then D'Lo like schools him. This is the kind of thing that just doesn't need to happen. Because let me ask you a question: do you think Potts is a POA caliber defender?
No.
No, but
No,
we
Okay,
only have
no.
so if you don't think that, is Klay
we only have
Thompson?
2 of those
Hold
on the
on.
floor
Is
though.
Klay Thompson a POA caliber defender?
No,
Okay, is Chris Paul or Steph Curry a POA caliber defender?
no.
No.
Okay, so you just can't have 3 of those guys on the floor at the
How
same
many?
time.
How
I
many minutes?
understand, but what we're saying is like even at halftime when everybody was clamoring to have Paz off the floor, he was a +6. When most of the
You can't
team
just
was a
look at the
negative at
you
that
in a
can't
time.
good
just look at
lineup,
the
bro.
plus minus. At the halfway point,
He's in a
No,
good
Pods
but
had
lineup,
played
bro.
more
okay, but
minutes than Clay, and
at
Pods
a
was,
certain
had
point,
0
He
points
Jim,
wasn't
by
he wasn't
Jim,
doing
halftime.
anything. He was in
And
a
then
good
Clay
I
lineup.
Thompson
understand,
had
bro. But at a certain
21
point,
points at halftime and
That's
had
why
less
he's
minutes than
+6.
Pods. Like that doesn't
hey,
make any sense.
hey, bro, but look, individual game plus minus is there's various. Now I understand that. We're talking about a whole season where a dude is a positive when he's on the floor. Period.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
whole
yeah.
season. It's a whole season now, and so
Sure, sure.
it's not a coincidence. Like
Yeah.
if he's doing stuff,
But you understand what I'm
that's
saying, right? This is
He's
not a
in great
criticism on
lineups.
Pods. This is a Steve Kerr thing where he needs to put out the correct
Jim,
lineups that are most capable of getting the most number of stops.
Jim, how many
That's
minutes?
all it is.
How many minutes did I thought Pods was a positive on defense tonight? How many minutes did Gary play?
He was, and he was a positive. Don't
Like
get me
12,
wrong.
damn near shit. That's what it felt
GP2
like.
played 7
12?
minutes.
It felt like less
GP2
than
played
that.
7 minutes.
7
7
Who
minutes.
did?
minutes.
Wait, GP played how many?
7
7.
is
7.
7
You
crazy,
can't.
minutes.
No,
bro.
that's got to double that. You got to triple that.
Yeah,
This is
Double
what
that.
I'm
exactly, bro. It's
saying.
fucking
No, I
that's
agree. No,
stupid.
listen. Pods needs to play 10 less minutes.
Pods
Give
is a.
those.
I'm gonna be honest. Pods is a 25 minutes a game
Yes,
player.
max.
Like
And I would.
if we
I would
play
Yeah, I
him for
agree.
25 minutes in the playoffs,
give
we're
him.
Gucci.
Give his minutes to Wiggins, GP, and Clay. If it makes sense,
Yeah, when
but
it
yeah,
makes
but for the
sense.
most part, generally it does, right? A point of attack. So especially GP, bro. GP got to be on the court, you know.
Yeah,
So
Steve has a really short leash with GP2, and this is problematic. He keeps thinking these 3 guard lineups with no POA is okay, and it's gonna haunt them if they do this against more teams that are just more talented. Tonight they were missing
Exactly.
AD in the second half, and that really helped the Warriors. So
And to
if
your
AD was in this game and Steve did that
there you
shit that
go.
he did at the end of the game, I would have been losing my mind. You just
Yep.
can't
I'm
happen,
not
bro.
gonna lie to y'all. I was terrified during that game. There is always a thing where I get so nervous about playing the Lakers, bro, because it's always weird stuff happening. So I am just thankful that we got out of that game in one piece. You know what I'm
Space.
saying?
Space.
Yeah,
You
You
might
heard
want
man.
to play
Black
her in
space.
the
cats be
play-in, bro.
crossing the street when
Space.
I
we
know.
play them,
You
man.
sounded.
Y'all
Sound a
know
little bit
this
quiet.
is our first win since they changed to crypto.com name.
It is. It's the first win on the road against the Lakers since
Yeah.
21 and the opening night.
Since 2021.
Yeah. So this is
So what we need to
Without the free
do,
throws, without the
what we need
crazy
to
free
do
throw
is
differential.
what we need to do. We need to use this win and propel us to. We have a 3-game homestand. The New York Knicks on Monday. We have the Memphis Grizzlies on I think Wednesday, and then on Friday I think we have the Pacers. We need, or maybe it's a back-to-back or something. But those are our next 3 games at home. Let's rip off 3 straight. Let's go 10 games over now, or 7 or 8 games, and then get it to 10 eventually. You know?
Hey, Dre, for that Knicks game, do they have Julius Randle back?
I don't think so, but they
No.
have OG. OG is back
They
though.
do have OG.
Okay.
Good
Yeah,
ass.
but I think OG's on minutes restriction.
Yeah, you might. I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, so listen, guys, listen. By any means necessary, man. We're feeling good because we needed this win. Positionally, in terms of the seating and standings, this to me was as must win as a must win gets. And I know, obviously AD went down and nobody wants to see that. And I hope his eye can recover because an orbital, or not an orbital, a corneal abrasion, that means a scratch of the cornea. That's not good. That could take him out for
yeah.
Yeah,
life.
that
Yeah,
means light. So basically, he has to have it covered. It's mandatory you cover it for 7 days. So he has to
Sheesh.
wear a patch for 7 days. Because anytime there's a cornea scratch, you're susceptible to infection. If dust, bacteria, anything gets in it,
Mm.
it
you
could
could
it
lose
could
your eye. You could
you
lose your
could
whole
lose
eye.
your eye. So it has to be covered. So I highly doubt AD is gonna play with a patch looking like a pirate over his eye. So
Shout
Aye, aye,
out
Captain.
Cornea Gen, biotech company. My lady works there. They do cornea transplants. Shout out Cornea Gen.
Nice. And
Shout out
this
Dr.
this
Shadow.
this is
no,
this is kind of
I've
a
had that same injury. It took me a week. Like I had to wear a
Okay.
patch for a week. And anytime if I you take it off to clean it and light hits it, you feel like you see white blotches and
Super
it's
sensitive to
crazy.
light.
It's
I tore
super
my cornea
scary.
too.
It's a super
Super
scary
sensitive to light.
injury because you're almost blind for like 2 weeks.
Jesus.
Mhm. I hope AD's okay from that. That's very
Me
unfortunate,
Bro,
too.
I
but
Me
pray.
too.
yeah.
Because this
I
is
pray. That
definitely
Facts,
shit
this is
facts.
sucks.
definitely the precursor. Because most likely, if we do with the play-in situation, we're probably going to see the Lakers, and this is probably what it's going to look like. So
No, fuck that. We need to get
Nah,
out
I'm
of
Fuck
the
the
trying to
play-in
see
play
it.
in, man. We
situation.
ain't in the
Fuck the
yeah,
play-in, bro.
man.
We
I'm
need
trying
to
to see it. Like,
we
I'm gonna
need
be
to
Oh, I
honest,
agree.
bro.
I agree.
we
I
have
don't want us to be in
16.
the
We
play.
need to win at least
Wait, is
minimum
Swiper
13.
serious? Is Swiper serious? No, he's trolling, bro. He's
Bro, I
trolling.
put it in the thing. He's dead serious. I
Nah,
put
nah,
it in the
nah, but he
jumbotron.
gotta be trolling, bro.
No, he's not trolling, bro. He's dead serious. He's dead.
Dude,
That's the hate. That's when
what?
you have hate in your heart.
Nah, he's
That's
trolling,
the
bro. He's
hate
trolling.
in your heart. No,
There's
it's
no
not
way he
trolling.
actually believes that.
It's hate in your heart. He has hate in his heart, bro.
Imagine complaining about any Lakers
You know,
player
honestly, I
Bro,
should never, I
in
should
the
never be
I
like
NBA.
just
It's just
can't
like,
wait
come
to
on,
pack
bro.
this guy up,
Shadow.
bro.
Yeah, bro. I don't. Whew,
We
I see.
just need to beat. Let's just get in the playoffs. Let's get
Yeah,
in the
let's just get.
position
Yeah,
to get
let's
in the
get it.
playoffs
We'll be fine.
and do what we need to do, man.
Bro,
And that
Steve Kerr.
that makes it empty for the injury report. Like everybody's healthy, right?
Yo, check this out. Steve said after the game that he doesn't like the rule that allowed the referees to go back and disallow the LeBron three. What
What?
are you talking
Bro,
about? Like,
Steve
what
be
side are
tripping,
you
bro.
on? What
They
is wrong
review
with you,
all
dude?
threes.
Oh, you didn't like that? You didn't
Bro,
like that? The
defend
ref,
your
you didn't
own
like that the ref
players,
took that
Steve.
three away like they were supposed to, Steve? Now
They
you got
did
a
the
problem
right.
with
They
that?
did the right thing. What the fuck? Then
Spread, Steve Kerr,
everybody said
spread. Why don't you?
after that
Fucking hell,
LeBron
man.
three, everyone when they called it back, everyone talked about it happened to Max Struess game apparently in
Even
2020.
even without a challenge that gets reviewed in clutch time, they review threes. So
Yeah, like
they
they
take a
review
He's
look at
threes.
it.
saying
No,
it because it
at the
happened to
first
us.
stoppage, they always review threes to see if
Listen,
it's a
you
two.
know what? No,
If
no,
the
no.
foot
I
was
got
on
it,
the
got it,
line.
got it.
Yeah.
Foot was
If
on
you
the
ever,
line. You take it away. What do you mean you hate the rule?
if you
It's
got,
been there since the beginning of time.
if you guys ever pay attention to Steve, guys, he's saying it. You guys got to know this. He's saying it because we won. If we had lost this game, he would have never said that ever. He's saying it because we won. He's trying to he's trying to seem like, oh, like I'm like an impartial, like
Yeah,
objective
I'm a good
guy. Like,
sport.
Fuck
yeah,
that,
Oh
well,
man.
man, I
yeah.
want to see
Fuck
Lakers
that. Get out of
play.
here.
Sometimes it's just best to shut up.
Man, just shut up.
Facts. Just like hold
Not
that one
against
to
the
the
Lakers,
chest.
bro. Not against the Lakers. You don't do that shit. Come on, man.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Goofy.
Urkel, nobody want to talk today.
Yeah,
No
nobody wants to
Lakers, no
talk.
no
No,
Lakers
no.
coming up. Nobody want to talk today.
Remember,
Nobody wants
remember.
to hop in.
Early, what was it a few days ago? They was talking crazy in Lakers therapy. They was talking
Well,
crazy.
you see, but you see all the talk in the timeline right now. Shadow, everyone's saying all Lakers fans are saying this game doesn't count because AD's out. That's all Laker
It
fans are
doesn't
saying.
count.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah,
see
yeah.
when they're
When we,
playing Peter, buddy. Because their
yeah, but
schedule,
remember, we
80s,
didn't know we were
they're gonna
getting back
lose at
Draymond and
least
Steph.
7 games. They're gonna lose almost half the remaining games. Book it.
Yeah,
But you know
yeah.
the biggest thing
Their
with the
schedule is
Lakers though,
crazy coming up, bro.
other than AD going out, the biggest thing is LeBron started taking over and he iced D'Lo out of the game. That also hurt them.
Oh, that killed them. D'Lo was actually smooth with it tonight. Like he was
Yeah, he iced
Yeah,
going
him
his
out of the
crazy.
shot
gym.
was looking crazy, man.
Yeah, his
I'll be
I'm gonna
honest
Hey,
be
with
honest. No,
you.
hold on. I feel like
The
in the first half, the dude was hitting some crazy shit. But Joe, that second half, I think was it
Wiggins was
Wiggins?
on him, bro.
Yeah,
Wiggins
no
was on
Wiggins,
him.
Wiggins,
Wiggins
but
was
Bron
on it.
also, yeah,
Yeah,
Kurt
Bron
told
also iced him
Wiggins.
too.
Wiggins
Kurt told Wiggins to
and
go on him.
Draymond too. I think
But
Dre,
Wiggins started on D'Lo though.
that
Wiggins.
Yeah.
beginning of the fourth quarter, I think D'Lo missed like 3-4 threes in a row.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
No, it was Wiggs and it
Cause
was
he was
Dre.
iced out, bro. He was iced out. I'm
There's
trying to tell you.
there's a couple plays that they just.
Second
But you know what?
half, Dre. Second half, D'Lo shot 3 for 11.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. But let me say this: one thing I don't like about and I want to point to some negatives tonight. The J.K. thing we can point to. You know, that's whatever. I mean, we got to figure that out. The Pods minutes, played way too much. Too much. We can point to that. I want to say this: I don't like this switching scheme that Steve is
Facts,
just
bro.
giving, like too
Facts.
easy. Like you're just letting Trace just get out there to die
Yeah, but
against
to be
LeBron.
honest with you, he only does that when Wiggins is not on the court. And in the
Right.
playoff,
Yeah.
well, not if.
Well, there's
When
no
we get to the
POA to do that.
playoffs, when we get to the playoffs, they don't do that. They only switch, double, and
Yeah,
trap the corners and leave the corner threes.
Right.
you
That
gotta
doesn't
Oh,
fight.
happen with Wiggins on the
You
court.
you're
gotta
right.
fight
No,
to
So
no,
switch.
that's true.
hopefully
That's true.
he gets to
Yeah.
36, 37 minutes, and there's
Right.
minimal marginal time of that. I saw some
Yeah.
good things
Yeah.
that we could like
Also,
catapult
the
off
zone.
of.
Did you guys
Like
see the zone? The zone was pretty
yeah,
good.
and
Yeah,
not
the
even
2-3.
it wasn't regular zone. It was zone. It was
But
like a
Dre,
matchup zone. So it
Right.
gave them a lot of problems,
but
right?
when we're in man,
Usually,
sometimes Draymond's sagging too much though. He's
yeah.
still
The
doing
only
that
thing
sagging
is,
shit.
usually if AD's there, AD flashes middle and takes that jumper,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
he rips and he goes to the basket. You can't rely on Jackson Hayes and Rui to do that. So we kind of took them out of their scheme, and we didn't allow them to be comfortable. That's it. That was smart on Steve's Steve's part. We did well. There was a lot of holes, a lot of things. Moral of the story is we're 1-0. We have 16 games left. I feel personally our magic number to me is 13 wins out of the next
Yeah,
16. So 13
yeah.
and 3. I think 13 and 3 guaranteed gets us in the playoffs.
It guarantees, and
It
also no,
guarantees us getting in the playoffs.
I agree. Also, you said 1-0 going to 13. I agree. We need 13. Also, we're 2-1 against the Lakers. We have the tiebreaker for now, so
Yeah, for now.
that's huge.
Let's
Huge.
go.
We
Wait, wait,
still
wait.
we still
Also,
have
Then we
one
got a game
makeup,
in
right?
April now, folks. We
Laker
got a game in
fans,
April. Though. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a game in April.
Laker fans tonight on that LeBron 3 talking about a shadow. I only know one shadow, and he was just speaking a minute ago. That's the only shadow I know.
I thought that was Steph Curry's shadow.
Hey, you're a fool.
Shadow.
Shadow.
And Dre,
Bro,
in
LeBron was
regards to
out.
that
He was
defense you're
out.
talking about, there
Right.
were a couple of possessions where Chris Paul and Steph Curry were on the floor at the same time, and that's what caused those help situations, the overhelp situations. Because
Right.
remember when Steph, ended up on an island, and then Chris Paul decided to go trap LeBron, and now everybody had to
Yeah,
switch
the
up, and
swing,
then
the
Trace is
swing
now
swing.
running out to the 3-point
Right,
shooter, and then
right,
Rui
right,
gets
right.
that dunk, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
When
that's
Steph
the
on
kind of thing.
LeBron, he
That's why
doesn't
I
need
keep
help,
saying
bro.
the best way for them
You know what,
to
Jim?
avoid those situations is avoid the two guard the Steph Curry the Steph Curry and CP lineups too much, and then avoid the three guards with no POA. If they fix that up, I mean, a majority of their defensive lapses, it's gonna turn around.
I think we have some solid defenders like you kind of laid out. I'm gonna be honest, just in terms of roster construction, I think we're one defender short. But I do think GP and Wiggs and Dre and Trace can hold the fort down. We just need Clay and Steph and CP can't be a negative like that badly. If they're just like slight negatives or net neutrals, we're gonna be fine. But when Clay, like the first half, Clay, there was a play Dinwiddie just ran to the basket and Clay just, I mean, that's
Clay
just
just gave up.
yeah, and then there's plays where I mean Steph was actually pretty good tonight, but CP was a little bit too small or whatever. So I agree. Like if
I
Ru-
actually
CP is a
think
good help defender though.
he is no.
I
Listen,
actually
I've been an
think
advocate of CP's defense all year. Yeah, he's been great. Hmm.
we gotta more take Kaminga off POA and more make him like a roamer and make him
Yeah.
run the passing lanes, like jump passes, run the passing lanes. And I think we should actually press more. Like one of the most impressive things that Pods does is he can really defend. I don't think he's the greatest POA defender, but when he's 94 feet and he pressures you and takes time off the shot clock, that gives ample time for like the help guys like Draymond, the backline defenders to like jump passes and create deflections. I think that's when Wiggins or GP2 or Pods
Right.
pressure full court, I
And
think we got to do more of that. Like
yeah,
more of
yeah,
that. Get
100%.
ready for the playoffs. Just step up the intensity. But
100%. And to add to that, that was a really good point. But you guys got to look at it this way too. Is the 94 feet that Pods gives is different than the 94 feet Wiggins and GP2 give. Pods is a little bit bulkier and he'll bump you. GP is super quick on his feet, so he's like shifty. And then Wiggins is 6'7", and he got the size and he got the length. So it's like each of them give their own 94 feet version of themselves, and it's like a
mhm.
different look every time. It's not like the
Yeah,
same.
Wiggins is like waving his arms and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wiggins is like
Yeah, and he
he's
creates
like
a lot of deflections, like a lot.
it's like activity. Yeah, so that's because the thing is this: we got bodies. That's one thing about this season. We got, and even Moody. Like you could even throw Moody as the pressure guy because he's been pressuring, and we've seen him pressure. So Moody is even one. So what I'm saying is like we got a bunch of dudes. We got bodies. You know how many years ago
Yeah.
how we like looked at the roster? Like in 21, we just didn't have bodies. We got bodies this year. You know, that's one thing we do got. Like we got dudes you can just throw out there and they can give you something. You know, they may not be the a +8 or a +10, but they could be a +2. You know what I'm saying? In short spurts, and that's it's
And
a good thing. And Moody, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say no. That's the thing about Moody. That's a great point. Of like, I think Moody's actually gonna see short spurts because one thing about Moody that's been consistent, like I want to say since his inception, is he's a tough shot maker. Like he'll there'll be stretches where we're like not getting anything, and Moody will literally just like put his entire body on the line for a layup. Like Moody will go in the paint through three people for an and one or something like that. And like he just doesn't care. Like it doesn't matter how if he's getting banged up, and he'll find a way to get the ball in the hole.
Or like when the
Pause.
ball's going out of bounds and stuff, like he just hustles,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. He has a lot of hustle plays, and I think that like that's something that I mean we even saw it when they put him out there last year
He
when they
pocketed
gave him that
Jalen
limited
Brunson,
run.
bro.
Yeah,
Jalen Brunson's a good comparison. Yeah.
and you know, because look at how that first quarter was versus the other 3 quarters. Had let's just granted if AD was in and they had AD, LeBron, and Rui Hachimura, you got to do something with pods. Like you're gonna have to maybe Moody, GP2, Wiggins, Kaminga. Like you need somebody in there because if he would have
Steve,
AD would have stayed, this would have been a different kind of look. You know,
Steve just
having
bleeds.
pods, keeping
Steve
pods
bleeds
in there.
pods into other lineups too much. Like just
Yeah,
playing with
Also,
who he's supposed to
y'all,
play with.
it's just, man, having CP run that second unit, man. Imagine if we had him last year too in the playoffs,
Man, don't even talk. It's like
man.
that. We were
Like,
We
me and
still
somebody on the
we
timeline
man.
still
were
need
talking
a
about
lob
that
threat.
secure feeling like that you have
Yeah,
when CP has the ball in his hands. I don't remember that secure feeling last year.
We still
I
didn't
ain't
have a
saying no
lob threat
names,
last
but
year. We still
It
didn't have a
doesn't
lob
really
threat
work the
last year.
same without Trace, though.
Exactly.
I
We still
think
didn't have
Trace
a
has
lob
opened
threat
the
last
game
year.
for
yeah.
both Chris
Trace is
Paul
what
and Klay
makes.
Thompson.
Yeah,
And even
You
though
have to
tonight,
understand CP is 5'11". He needs a lob threat. Like
yeah,
that's just
sure,
how that
and,
sure.
shit works.
and tonight you look at Trace and what he ended up doing against like LeBron James. LeBron cooked him. Like he got cooked by LeBron. And the funny thing about it is like LeBron and Trace, as big of a uh, role that Trace plays as a rim protector, anchor, and all this stuff, he and LeBron are about the same size. And obviously, right now at this juncture, LeBron is stronger, so he had a little bit of a foot speed advantage as well as a strength advantage over him, and he just was able to get the best of Trace. And yet, you see the overall impact that Trace makes, for
all those
everybody else on his team.
blocks.
Underrated
And he's still
defender.
blocking shots. He's still, making the other guys think twice before they attack the rim against the Warriors in a way that the Warriors just haven't had this, right?
But
So,
Jim, the other advantage that LeBron had tonight is like an intangible advantage. It's the fact that it's LeBron and it's a rookie. Like he has that kind of like because I don't even think Trace fouled him on that three, to be honest. Like I think it was just LeBron
He didn't
pulling the I'm a vet
touch
card.
him. He literally
Like
didn't touch him.
yeah, exactly. Like LeBron started like he fake stumbled and then the ref called it because he just sees him stumbling. And I'm looking and I'm like not seeing the actual contact, but it's LeBron versus a rookie. It doesn't matter who the rookie was. It doesn't matter what name you put to the face. Like it's LeBron, the 20 year vet versus a rookie. You know what I'm saying? So he has that
yeah,
advantage too. Like he's gonna get the benefit of the doubt on like
sure.
everything.
There's going to be matchups where Trace is going to be disadvantageous. Somebody's going to have his number. Somebody's going to get the best of him in these ISO situations. But at the end of the day, is he still showing up in all the different ways? Like 4 or 5 once again tonight, 10 points on 5 shots. He is the third most efficient player in the NBA right now. For
Uh,
players that have taken at least 4 shots, and the two other guys
he
in front of him
yo
are
to
Daniel
your point.
Gafford and what?
He was
Hold on, let me just finish my point, bro. Trace, Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively are the 2 guys ahead of him in terms of field goal percentage. Trace is the most efficient, top 3 most efficient player in the league. He's a rookie.
Jim, can I point something out too?
Yeah.
Austin Reeves. I want to just point out jail, bro. The motherfucker was in prison, and the key was thrown out. 4 for 13 tonight. We just shut him down. Shut him down, man. And even D'Lo. But
You
this
saw
is
that
what
play
we
that he
need.
did against Pods, Dre, where he had his elbow in Pods' freaking
Facts, bro. That should have been
Yeah,
an
yeah,
offensive foul, bro. He pushed
come
off
on,
yeah.
too.
man.
He
Like
pushed
seriously?
off. He pushed off too.
But I thought Reeves. He missed some open threes, like a couple. But for the most part, we were physical, man. He and defensively, he just couldn't stay in front of anyone that we threw at him. So great job because tonight if we were to win this game, LeBron went for what 40,
41.
but we had 41, but we had to shut down the
Everybody
others.
else.
I love when
Like you
more
Absolutely.
can't.
physicality is involved. That is advantageous to the Warriors. And tonight,
Yeah.
the Lakers ultimately they ended up only getting 18 free throws. Like this is, with the Warriors, we can work with that. You know what I'm saying? Alex, sorry, you were saying before. You
Yeah,
were saying something before. Go ahead.
yeah. No, Jim. I was just going to add to your point because yes, everybody's kind of talking about how LeBron kind of cooked Tracy, but bro, with Trace, he was shutting down Hayes. He was getting these lobs, these dunks. Like I felt like outside of LeBron, he did everything else perfectly.
I don't know about perfectly. Like there
Not
are definitely moments
perfectly,
where he
but
struggled, but
he played a good game. He
but
played a good
again,
game.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, as an anchor, he's still doing his job, helping and all this kind of stuff. And then on top of that, he opens up the game for Trace and for Clay and Chris Paul. This is a huge factor. These guys cannot get open and get these shots that they're getting, these good looks that they're getting, without the proper screener and especially a roller on top of that. So that just opens up these guys' game in a way that a guy like Looney can never open up. You know what I'm saying?
And
That's
Jim,
So
true.
Jim, this is why I'm always arguing with people every day about like they're like, oh, they see the starting lineup whenever we play, and they're like, oh, no Clay, and I'm trying to tell them that it is because Clay plays really well with Trace and CP. Those three together doesn't matter. I don't care if like where they're playing at. Like it's that is the reason. It's not because of it's not an indictment on Clay. It's not saying he's bad. Literally have Clay coming off the bench simply because he works so well with Trace and CP3. That's something that people are. I don't know. Like people aren't
That might
getting.
change late in the playoffs though. That might change. Clay might
I
start
mean,
well,
hitting.
for
that's
me,
always going to be there. The
Yeah, as
option
long
of
as they stagger
him
it. Though.
creating that space, that's always going to be there. I just want to say that I got to say, like, this is probably one of the most harmonious sessions that we've had this season in terms of like everybody
I
kind of
agree.
generally
I was
agreeing with
just
each other
saying
and each
that.
other's points. Nobody's fighting. I don't have to be screaming. Like, I mean, thank goodness I don't have to be screaming because Steve Kerr made it really close. But
Tracy,
they managed to get away
It
with
won't
it. That
break our
3 point was
souls, man.
shaved off. That was a huge deal. So,
Tracy McGrady Davis.
I just really love that we spam the paint. And I'm sorry, Laker fans, if anybody Laker fans are in here, I'm sorry about AD, but bro, when
They ain't in
AD
here,
went
man.
out, I was yelling at my
but
TV, spam
but
the paint,
Alex,
fuck the
even
threes, spam the paint.
even when AD is there, like he's never called for a defensive 3 seconds. So it's like he's
Ever.
always clogging the lane, but he's not really
Yeah.
guarding anybody. So like we can't
I
do
seen
shit.
them call one tonight, but they only called it because it was a makeup call. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that
Like
play.
shit is
No, you're right.
Yeah, I
crazy.
You're right.
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
That was the
yeah.
one. Wasn't that the one where I think one of the plays was like, yeah, I remember like something happened, they let it go, whatever, and then you're right. They came on the other end and they called it just as a makeup. You're
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Yep.
he's dead as just standing in the lane like every time we play him.
Blood got a lawn chair in the fucking paint, man.
Yo, it's just like when he went out, bro, like the paint just absolutely it was paints galore for us tonight. I think
I
it was
mean,
what,
what do you
58 points in the
expect?
paint?
I think it was
58 points in the
64, 64 or 63.
64. Damn.
Out rebounded them too. On
But
top of
look,
that,
we have to,
You know what was
that might be the
interesting about
case.
this game?
Go ahead,
the
Rich.
free throws.
So AD goes out, right? AD goes out, and you saw how deficient the Lakers look.
Or minus 13, I think. Am I right?
Well, yo, because Urkel, did you see who they played? They played two dudes at the five, or two or three. They played Jackson Hayes. By the way, was I not? Yo, this is Steve. Someone got to send this shit to Steve. If anyone has a Steve Kerr Connect, fucking make sure he hears this shit during the live watch. Yo, James, are you there? What was I yelling during the live watch when Jackson Hayes was on the fucking
Oh,
floor?
to foul him, just fucking foul him.
Just hack him,
Just
bro.
hack him.
Hack a Hayes.
Yeah.
They had like fucking 8 points. I was like, yo, just hack a Hayes. And we didn't have Draymond out there. So you don't need Draymond to get in foul trouble or anything. You just throw bodies and you just fucking hack them. Someone tell Steve that if you see Jackson Hayes and they're in the fucking bonus ever again, just fucking hack
What's
them.
his free throw percentage?
Not good.
It's not good. It's not good. He missed a few tonight.
That's a good
But
point.
regardless, but here's the thing. They had Jackson at center, they had Braun at center, and I think they had Rui at center. I could be wrong, but I know they had Jackson and Braun at center. So that shit, like, of course, like, yeah, like you got to attack the rim, like, and Jackson Hayes. The thing with him is positionally, he just steps up too high sometimes. Sometimes he's too like the dude doesn't have a great, a great feel and a
Dre,
great like anticipatory.
he's dead
Yeah,
in terms of pick and roll. He can't defend pick and roll.
yeah,
He's a
yeah.
bad
You
pick
like
and roll
Chris Paul
defender.
just sliced him up,
Yeah.
man. CP just dotted him every time. So yeah, man. I mean, obviously AD is such a huge component. The Lakers aren't even a playing team without AD. Like they're a
You
lottery
said
team.
the Lakers
You know?
without their best player, huh? What did you say, huh?
Yeah. I mean, no, he's definitely
No,
like yeah,
they're not a
but you know
playing
what
team
you could
without
say.
Davis. There's just no chance.
They need him, but
They
that's
have
kind
no
of like you could
defense.
argue the same with us with Draymond, right? You need your best defender out there, and so
of course, that's
he's a
everything.
big piece. And
He played what,
right,
34 minutes tonight? Shit. That's a team high tied with the Pods. 34.
who did?
And
Who did?
Dre,
Draymond.
Draymond played 34 minutes tonight.
Oh, okay, that's good. We needed Dre to play those minutes. Yeah.
Dre,
Yo,
can
Urkel.
you also say the same about offense too? Because when Jackson Hayes was out there, I think it was the third
Yeah.
quarter. we somehow was able to put the Lakers in foul trouble. We got to the bonus at like 6 minutes left
That's
in the
JK.
third quarter. We could have just really
Uh,
spammed the paint and just keep going attacking where
right now.
Jackson Hayes really has no answer because he can't foul. So,
Right,
we
right,
get
right.
situations like
Jim, what
that,
were you going to
it's
say,
easy
Jim?
for us.
Yeah, Urkel, as you make the transition, I just want to let you know, just kind of looking around the league, the Knicks are playing the Kings. It's 75-74 in the third, at the end of the third right now. The Knicks are up by 1 point. I'm sure you can put that on live watch, and we're going to be rooting for the Knicks tonight.
Jim, what a transition. So let's go to playback.tv/Space Gang, and we can watch the Kings and the Knicks over there. We really need the Knicks to win tonight. And let's discuss some more factors and things that we saw in the game. So again, playback.tv/Space Gang, and let's go over to playback. See y'all over there.